Do you want to know what is truly horrifying? When you have to go to sleep and climb blocks for hours and hours while fighting sheep and fighting God. It's terrifying. It is truly, truly terrifying. This is the Gather Review. Yo, what's up guys? The Insane Game Freak here to bring you a game review. What the fuck? Game Freak Insano is putting up a review of a game? Blasphemy! Blasphemy! Rage! Yeah, I am putting up a game review for once. And this game review is going to be on the newly released Atlas game, Catherine, with a C. And because it does matter whether it's a C or a K, I will explain as we get into the plot of the game. Now before I start the review, I might as well mention one thing. For one, I have never really played any of the other Atlas games. Like the Persona series, I've never played the Persona series, and I've never played the Shin Megami Tensei series. So this is kind of my first Atlas experience. And I'm going to tell you right now, it makes me want to play Persona just to get the whole kind of vibe. To explain the presentation of the game, pretty much here's your story. Your story is about a guy named Vincent. He's 32 years old. He has a girlfriend, Catherine with a K, who also is 32 years old. They've been dating around 5 years, and they're pretty okay until Catherine starts bringing up, you know, she wants to take this a little bit further. She wants to go to the marriage and tying the knot and the babies and the pregnancy and whatnot. She's trying to kind of get Vincent out of his comfort zone and, you know, really start thinking about having a family. Vincent, on the other hand, is kind of thinking, I mean, we're cool where we are, I don't want to complicate things, why do we need to get married, you know, typical relationship stuff. That's all fine and dandy until Catherine with a C comes up. Now, apparently what happens is later when he's talking to his friends and after his friends leave, he decides to drink really, really, really heavily and hang out at the bar by himself at really late hours. And that's where he meets blonde bimbo Catherine with a C. One thing leads to another, he gets home safely, and he wakes up and realizes, oh, fuck, I fucked the girl, didn't I? Oh, fuck, this isn't my girlfriend for 5 years. Fuck me. And after dealing with this, essentially this entire game, like the entirety of the gameplay takes over the course of, I think it's like 8 or 9 days. It's technically 8 days, but there's a 9th day after you figure out the plot twist and everything. But essentially, you're dealing with all this in the course of a week. Now, on top of the issues he now has to figure out about him cheating on his girlfriend for 5 years, dealing with, you know, the realization who he wants to be with, and dealing with this other Catherine with the C, mind you, and all the other crazy shit. There's also been these news reports going around about people dying in their sleep, and they're not realizing what the cause of death is. And it just so happens that all the people who've died have been cheaters or unfaithful to their loved ones. And it's like, whoa, what the fuck? Now, that's the story. The gameplay doesn't even happen during the day. The gameplay happens when you're sleeping. Pretty much the portions where after Vincent leaves the bar and you pass the fuck out, is when you get into the nightmare stages, which is essentially the gameplay itself. The gameplay is essentially you're climbing a tower, and you're like, oh, that sounds simple, this must be an easy game. No, the fuck is not. You wait and you listen. You have to climb this tower to get to the top, because he finds out, I mean, the way the dream sequence works is that he's running around in his boxers and has a pillow in his hand and he has sheep horns. He has no fucking idea what's going on, and all the other people around him look like fucking sheep. He's thrown into this world and is told, you better keep climbing up, because if you fucking stop and you drop with the blocks that are falling, you're going to fucking die. This is apparently the correlation with this and the news reports in real life. So essentially the gameplay is you have to move blocks into a certain order to create a pathway, to climb all the way up to the top, to get to the freedom rope of freedom, and get to the next stage. And that's what you're doing through the entire game. Now, just to give a clear-cut warning, if you're not a story fan, you're not a plot or story fan or a puzzle fan, don't even fucking touch this game. Because that's all this game is. Story, plot, and puzzle. And actually, in retrospect, I think story and plot would be the same thing. Well, kinda. You get the point. It's not an action game. It's not a hack and slash. It's not typical. It's not going to appeal to everybody because it's puzzle. If you're a guy who likes to have mentally stimulating games and, challenging your brain skills and shit, you'll love this game. But if you're not that kind of guy, it's not going to be fun because that's all you're doing. You're going through each of these stages trying to get to the top. And you're thinking, oh man, the game must get repetitive. No, the fuck it doesn't, for one reason. This is a hard game. And I'm talking about the American release. And for anyone who doesn't know, this was originally released in Japan first. We got it later. The thing about the American version that's different from the Japanese version, the American version is toned down. I'm not joking. For all you people who have played the American version, go, damn, this game is really hard. This isn't even the hardest version of it. For one, there's a completely more ridiculously hard one in Japan, and on top of that, it depends on what level you're playing on here. I only beat the game on normal mode, and normal mode was a bitch. Luckily the game mechanics are very simple. You move up and down with the analog stick, and to move and push blocks, because you can do that, you use the X button. Now, the block pushing actually doesn't follow the same rules. And just so you know, during these levels when you're climbing the towers, the floor is slowly decaying beneath you, so you better, you gotta haul ass. There's a lot of different game mechanics within the whole game though, because you have the sections where you're climbing and you're moving blocks, to make a pathway, but on top of that, you also have all these various techniques you're going to learn while going higher and higher through the levels. It's about 8 days worth of levels, and it's really hard, and there's pretty much a boss battle in every night. Every night you're going to fight a boss battle. And the difference between the boss battles and normal ones is really not that much different. The only difference is you now have this big fucking boss chasing you, and the boss ranges from something as simple as well, no, actually, none of these bosses are simple. Almost all of these bosses are creepy as shit. You'll see a knife hand come and try to kill you. You'll see a baby with a chainsaw try to kill you. And eventually, you're either going to see one or both of the Catherines try to kill you. And mind you, this is a dark game. If you are not a fan of horror, don't touch this either. Because this shit is scary. Some of these bosses are really fucking creepy. Oh, no, even not. That's a lie. All of these bosses are really fucking creepy. The whole premise of the game is you have to get through each night while dealing with the stress of day stuff. With, meeting with Catherine with a K, trying to figure out how you're going to handle Catherine with a C, and what you're going to do with your life. You're making all these decisions in the course of a week. This is a very deep fucking game, and I'm not even playing it with you. Now, the whole block, let me get back into the gameplay, because the gameplay is really fun and it's addicting. It's like reverse Tetris. That's the closest thing I can relate it to. It's like reverse Tetris. The game has very challenging puzzles. I think almost anybody would be challenged by it. And I was playing on normal. I'm assuming hard mode is hell. And I do mean that. I bet you hard mode is hell. But if you're the kind of guy who doesn't really want to deal with the puzzle shit and really you're invested in this for the story, because the story is actually really deep and intriguing. It engages you considering half of the game. This game is heavy story and plot based. So if you don't like the story plot, you need to just say fuck it, because you're going to deal with that for a lot. You're going to get long cutscenes, you're going to get long situations. It's very deep, it's very complex, it's not a fucking simple game. It's something you're going to have to jump in there, and if you're not entranced or intrigued by the plot, you're going to get bored, you're going to get annoyed, because you're going to be sitting there through cutscenes going, man, let me get to the puzzles. But here's the thing, if you're the kind of guy who just wants the story but doesn't want the puzzles, for people who don't realize, there is normal, hard, and easy, but there's a cheat. If you want to get very easy on this game, because I can see people doing that, you can hold down the select button at the start screen, and it will unlock very easy mode. So if you just want to breeze through the puzzles and just get through with the plot, and the reason why I say that is because the game has 8 endings, man. 8 fucking endings. This game has a hell of replayability on top of the whole online and competing mode and racing modes in the game. You have 8 fucking endings. If you want all endings, you're gonna replay this game 8 times. You're wondering, why is that 8 endings? Why haven't they explained the other portion of the game? The gameplay is essentially you climbing the towers, but there is a subsection of the game where you have your moments where you're just hanging out with your friends at the bar, or you're having text messages, because your girlfriend will, Catherine with a K, or Catherine with a C. Oh, I forgot to mention, is 20 fucking 2, which is 10 years younger than both you and your girlfriend, Catherine with a K. They'll text you periodically. The game also runs off a morality basis. So there's different types. There's like 3 bad endings, 3 good endings, and then true freedom endings that are normal, and then just true. That's how it works. It's pretty fucking interesting, to be perfectly honest. I thought the game was very engaging. The plot makes you want to keep going, because the fucking puzzles are frustrating as shit. If you are not a puzzle guy, like I am, like I'm not, where you're just gonna want it, to play the puzzles because you were intrigued by the game is fucking hard. The game is fucking hard. I can't even bullshit you. The game doesn't fuck around. The game will whoop your ass. It's a good game. It's a really good game. It's a challenging game. It's a stimulating game, and it keeps you thinking. But to go back to the morality thing. The morality thing is determined by numerous things. The game encourages you to talk with other people, and it's not a game where you're just going from point A to point B, and you're just going through the cutscenes and going through the shit. It encourages you to talk to other people in the bar, because the thing you'll start noticing as you go through levels, they have these these mid stages where you can save and you can talk to other sheep. Some of these sheep will start looking really familiar to you the higher you go, and will actually start mind fucking you when you realize who the fuck these people are, because you can actually, there are correlations between the people, and there is a plot twist near the end of it, which, considering how deep the game was before, the plot twist will come off kind of like, I kind of guessed that, but at the same time, it's still very intriguing, and it's kind of trippy when you figure out why the fuck all this is happening, and what the fuck is up. It's the morality thing kind of comes in with you texting people, talking to people, who you text them, and what you text them, because you get to choose what you text. It's not like, you have to pick yes or no. It's usually you have a set things you can text them, and you can choose out of those set things what to text them, which would be good or positive. Will put you in like a kind of morality meter where it's like good and negative, but it's not just so clear cut. Because just because you have your bar in the good doesn't mean you're gonna get the true ending. Like, I had my shit in the good. I played my shit like I played me as a normal person, and I didn't get the best ending. I got the true freedom. No, I got the normal freedom ending, not the true freedom ending, but the normal freedom ending, which was actually pretty good. I haven't gotten the best ending in the game, and considering all the variations, it keeps you intrigued the entire way of because there are portions during the cutscenes where the meter will go off, which will affect what Vincent says and doesn't say. And it's like, wow, because it will affect how the game ends. There are endings where you'll end up with Catherine with a C. There are endings where you'll end up with Catherine with a K. And from what I heard, there's also endings where you may possibly die. I didn't get the ending where I died, so I'm not 100% sure on that. But the game is good. The game is fucking awesome. The game is enjoyable. The game is actually very tricky, because people think, oh, it's pushing blocks and making a pathway. This is pretty easy. There's a lot of tricks to it, because you're introduced to different types of blocks. As you can tell, the higher you get, the harder it gets. The puzzles get really hard. It's not just simple, run up a ladder or run up a flight of stairs. You have to move these blocks into certain paths, and you have to learn the tricks of the blocks, because the blocks don't work just like Tetris blocks. They're like single blocks, and there are different rules. For example, in this game, as long as the corners are touching, a block can float in midair. Like, as long as there's the 2 corners are touching with another 2 corners of another block, a block can float in midair. On top of other things you can do now, how there are different types of blocks. Like, there are ice blocks, there are bomb blocks, there are blocks that will pretty much stab you with fucking spikes if you stand on it too long. Ice blocks, which are like the most annoying fucking things in this game, because you know how ice is in games where you slip. But the thing about ice in this particular game, the reason why I'm going to go on this for a second is because it's really fucking annoying. When you get to the ice stage, you're gonna hate the goddamn game for Because essentially, with ice on this game, it won't stop you until you either fall off the damn walkway or you hit something or you hit a block that isn't ice. It's that simple. You're either like, this is the most dangerous thing. You can hang off of blocks, you can climb off the side of them sometimes. The game is challenging, the game keeps you intrigued. It's kind of hard to explain how good the game is because I am explaining the game to you, but it's one of those games you got to play to understand what I'm talking about. It's really fun, it's really intriguing, it makes you want to keep going. It's like the game is hard, the game is pushing you to the point where you're like, fuck it. And then the story's like, you want to know what happens to Vincent, you want to see what decision he makes. And you're like, God damn it, I gotta finish it. You know, you go in and you want to go finish it. It's just that simple. The game never stopped being fun. As frustrating as some of the levels will be, the game never stopped being fun. It's a good fucking game. Atlas, great fucking job. The boss battles are trippy as shit. And the final boss is hell. This is not a game for the weak-hearted. If you cannot do puzzles for shit, and you don't want to do very easy mode, don't touch it. Also, if you're a guy who's really into hack and slash and ridiculous violence, this isn't it. This is you running from everything. And there's a lot of deep moral meanings because you're going to be asked a lot of moral questions. And it's not even the same questions every time. This questions switch up. It's actually very interesting because it's like they had a big chunk of questions. They didn't just ask you like 20 questions and then just repeat it every time you restart the game. There's different sets of moral questions which make the game more enjoyable. The fucking game comes with a kick-ass soundtrack. The soundtrack is fucking beast on this thing. For people who wonder, is the game worth $60 since all you're really doing is the game is kind of simple. The game has a simple premise. The game has a simple game mechanics, but compared to everything else, if it was complex, the game would be overwhelming. I feel like the game knew how to balance a deep and complex story with simple gaming elements, so you weren't sitting there going, Jesus, let me put this down, the game would be overwhelming to me. So it is, to me, it is worth the $60. It's totally worth the $60. Fuck, I would have got the collector's edition if I thought the shirt would fit, but the shirt doesn't fit. The boxers were over there. I want the shirt, dude. You can't show off the boxers and not be arrested for it anyway. But you can show off the shirt and everything in the pizza box. The soundtrack is awesome. The boss fights are trippy as shit. It's a very deep game and actually had me questioning the mindset of a cheater, and it kind of gave me more of an insight of how that shit works. For me, I don't agree with cheating on your girlfriend. That's not what I'm saying. But it makes me understand that some cheaters, not all cheaters are like that. Some cheaters just put up with fucked up situations. And this game really makes me not want to get married, have children, whether for the date, date, get married, have children, cheat. This game fucked with me a lot. But it's a good fucking game. I had so much fun playing it. I'm going for my next few endings. And I'm so fucking sick of the entire week I played this fucking game. So my suggestion, fucking buy it. I'll link it in the Amazon description below. And the last thing I will say before I, end it is the voice acting is fucking awesome too. It's an anime. You're an anime fan because you're watching this fucking channel. I know that for a fact. You gotta like the anime a little bit, so the anime style will appeal to you. And that's about it. The dub was awesome. The anime, you actually recognize some of the voices in here. Some of them I think some of them are Funimation voice actors, ironically. But that's besides the point, I'm just rambling now. But anyways, if you like this game review, like it. If you like it so much you want to favorite it. And, join the Facebook fan page in the description. Blog TV, I'm actually trying to add my Skype name down there for later, because I'm pretty sure people are going to start asking me. Blog TV, Blip TV, everything. Twitter, which I need to actually start using more often. And, this is the game review. Tell me how you like the style. Tell me if you like, this whole setup and everything. And, I guess until next time, life's a game, play to win, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.